Bem-vindo ao Brasil, which is Portuguese for welcome to Brazil. That is what nearly 200 million native Brazilians will be saying when they open up their country's doors to 500,000 outsiders, according to English Online, in order to host the 2014 FIFA World Cup. I'm here to inform you a little bit about the history and how the Cup started, to the dedicated teams and fans, as well as the host country itself, and the pros and cons of being the host. Starting with the history of the Cup, let me explain to you how the World Cup was brought up. After the success of the Olympic football tournament in the late 1920s, the proposal of the FIFA World Cup was pushed majorly by the late French Football Federation president, Jules Rimet. Rimet also holds the longest president reign for FIFA and played a major role in creating the World Cup, which is why the trophy is actually called the Jules Rimet Trophy. Unfortunately, according to TopEndSports.com, the original Jules Rimet trophy was stolen twice, and the second time it was never recovered. The new trophy, which goes by the FIFA World Cup trophy, was presented in the 1970s, which was way after the games actually started. The first game was in Uruguay in 1930. The FIFA World Cup has been hosted by multiple countries, but very few have been chosen to host it twice. 2014 Cup will be the second time for Brazil to host it. What a lot of people don't know is that not every country gets to participate. Countries like the Philippines, countries like Ghana. But let's focus on the countries with teams that do make it. According to FIFA.com, around 200 countries participate and try out in the preliminary competition phase, and this broadcast to over 240 different channels. The phase after the preliminaries is the final competition, and out of 200 plus countries, only 32 teams will get a spot in the final competitions. This phase is known as the World Cup. Those 32 teams battle it out for a month, and slowly the top two will find themselves in the final match being watched by over 700 million people worldwide, according to FIFA.com. Speaking of champions, the country that has held the most titles is Brazil, go figure, with 5 World Cup championships under the country's belt. A close runner-up is Italy with 4 titles, West Germany with 3 titles, and the list can go on. But how much influence can a team have when playing at home? Home field advantage. With all of the team's dedicated fans there to watch the teams firsthand, 6 of the 19 hosts that have hosted these games have won the tournament in their country. Brazil is not on that list, but that could be more of a fuel and more of a reason for the country and the country's team and supporters to play, cheer, and support for their 6th title. Out of 12 venues, these 32 hopeful teams will be playing in each hold around 55,000 seats, according to StadiumGuide.com. If you ask me, that's a lot of Brazilians for each of those Brazil's match. As aforementioned, there are 12 stadiums being used in 64 matches. Only 7 of those stadiums have been a part of Brazil for many years. The rest of the 5 have actually been built specifically for the World Cup. Some are currently still in construction, and some are not even expected to be finished until shortly before the games begin. According to English Online, as 12 cities prepare to host the matches of the Football World Cup, Brazil wants to show the world that it can not only play football, soccer, and dance to samba rhythms, but also organize high-scale events. The pros of being the host are that the country will be seen through the eyes of many outsiders who would have never considered to go to Brazil, and they will capture the beauty and the true meaning of the country. For instance, the summer of 2013 only brought 5 million people to visit the country of Brazil. And with the Cup right around the corner, it is estimated to bring more than 500,000 extra people to come into the country and see what it's about. Unfortunately, many cons come with one pro, and not just for Brazil, but for every single host to the World Cup has seen this exact same thing happen. Bleacher Report states that the country is forced to change the laws for a specific time, making it nearly impossible for small businesses to make a Brazilian real, which is like a US dollar. It's just what the Brazilian currency is. Also, the taxes are forced to be stopped, and no income can benefit the country unless it outsets the budget that was put into the country, into building the airports and into building the stadiums and the roads. But for Brazil, that budget is a whopping 13.3 billion according to Bleacher Report. I appreciate your attention and I hope you have enjoyed my presentation. Now that you have learned a thing or two about the FIFA Cup and where it came from, the incredibly loyal fan base and passionate team members, as well as the way the FIFA Cup will affect Brazil, go impress your friends and your family members this summer of 2014 when the games begin. On behalf of the close to 200 million population of Brazil and myself, thank you, or shall I say, obrigado.